They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox.
Greetings humanity, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a slice-of-life game, a surreal game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let us go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, to find out who they are and who they're playing. And we shall once again start with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Shah Gamelan, who is an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I am Arras. My pronouns are she, they, and today I am playing Aroshka Rizik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Mac the Husk, the established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica, who provides a vessel for spirits. Can't believe I had to read it. And Mac uses they, them pronouns.
Excellent.
It's a crutch.
And now let us head back over to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, I'm Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Vormaravanas, aka Vor. Vor is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Excellent. Well, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're all still doing okay. We're also going to be using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. And anytime you can type ISCW to see that, and that'll also be coming through regularly on the rotation of things over in chat. Also, please remember we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, things. Things happened last time. It appears that the moment things started going nuts in the observatory, and things started shutting down, and one of Aroshka's memories started trying to escape from where it was that she had boxed it off. Her former self had boxed it off. Actually, there's an important distinction between former self and present self that we're probably going to get into at some point, because there's, well, memories are funny things. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, when that happened, I think Arushka basically noped out into the gray, and so they were left with this issue where they had to kind of figure that out, and also turn off the failsafe that was going off. Klaxons were going off. There was a large elephant person spirit that Mac had summoned to help carry some stuff. Well, actually, Mac didn't summon it directly. Mac made a deal with the Hunt to borrow this individual's services for a little while to transport this item. And just as they're reaching down, picking it up, that's when their buddy Shantano went out to through the observatory's mechanisms to go and spend some quality time with a void demon, and that sort of burned out some things, and that burned out the that basically that caused a few issues. Basically, and so they caused the thing to crack in the first place, the vessel that was holding Arushka's memories to crack, and also was what it was that caused the operational conduit to burn out. So they had to deal with that. Mac came up with an ingenious solution for stopping the memories from escaping from this crack that had formed in the mnemonic vessel, and that was to place their Testament of Suns on top of it and then duct tape it to the vessel. Upon that happening, the memory, there was one memory that was trying to escape, and it got absorbed into the Testament of Suns, which now has this nice little green glow to it. And we'll be learning more about that soon. Probably.
Wait.
That's not...
Is it a healthy green glow?
It's a little early to say. It seems to be a reactionary green glow. It's kind of like, yeah, well, in a sense, right? So your Testament of Suns is your basic Testament of Suns. Looks like this. So it's but it's going to be a little bit different under different light. So it's kind of a goldish, dark goldish or bronzish color often. And then these memories, this arcing electricity looking things, were these memories were blue ish. And when they got absorbed into this, you get green, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Green glow ever healthy? I don't think.
Well, I mean, like there's
You never know.
nice, friendly nature spirit green, and then there's
there?
and then there's fallout toxic green.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between fairy spirit green and zombie green.
Yeah, I feel like you would know, and I'm guessing this isn't fairy spirit green.
Do you have a particular shade of green you'd like this to be? I'm only asking this question because I need to leap up for just a second, but I will be back by the time you've finished answering it.
No, I do not have any preference. I'm merely curious for my own future decision making.
You don't
Well,
want
I
to
mean,
describe
that's
the
fair.
precise shade.
Yeah. I'm trying to gauge how much concern I should have.
I mean, it's always good to have a concern is healthy. Concern is good for you. It's a decent reaction to have when you have things like this going on. I'm sure it's fine. I guess we'll figure it out.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. So that happened. So as that was going on, we had what else? Oh yes, Vor needed to repair the console to try to get things up and running again. And not Vor. Why am I saying Vor? Shah needed to do that. Vor was still noped out into the gray. So interesting that the mnemonic vessel caused both cousins to nope out into the gray.
There's definitely some empathy going on there right now.
Yeah. I certainly think so. But yes, so Shah was trying to fix the console so that she could turn off the klaxons, which were disturbing the big elephant bloke. I'm gonna come up with a name for Big Elephant Bloke sometime very soon, but we'll get to it.
The BEB.
Right now it's the BEB, but so that happened, and so when that occurred, Shah ended up opening up the panel and finding the main operational conduit that essentially is used to make all of these different devices, which were of Shah's own design originally, a lot of them, work together. They were not intended to work together, but in this environment they do. And so Shah went in and figured out how to repair it, repaired it, got it turned on again, and then saw where the conduit leads. You see, the thing is, the operational conduit, for those not familiar with hyperdimensional engineering, the operational conduit it's a device that attaches to a place with differing physical laws, analyzes those laws, and draws on those principles to inform the operation of the observatory. So she saw what place that was, and it was in fact the Endless Machine, also known as the Unrelenting Engine. It's a place where they had been before. Sort of a hypothetical realm. It wasn't. It was never really confirmed whether it existed or not, but apparently it does. It's sort of the idea being it's this endless machine that is the underpinning of reality and keeps things moving forward perpetually. And so the observatory was kind of using this conduit to be able to get this principle of perpetual motion to make everything work. Upon seeing this and realizing that also that she could move the lens that this conduit had on the machine, Shah did take advantage of that to move the lens to see, like, okay, where is the foreman? The foreman was someone that they had had to leave back there. Well, they didn't have to. They could have, I suppose, knocked him out and brought him with them. But no, he insisted on trying to heroically stay behind to protect them, to mislead what the people who appeared to be the Church of Midnight, who were there, trying to force him to design something. He said, "No, I'm here trying to throw them off the track." Had implied at the time that it was very dangerous for both Shah and Eroshka to be there at the same time, because the Church of Midnight was going to be looking for them. So Shaw found the foreman. This lens found the lens into where the foreman was. The foreman was being, apparently, at least sort of interrogated by a being composed largely of shadow. It seems, some kind of being, specter-looking thing, and from what the foreman was saying, they were having him go around this machine looking for something. In addition to the things they were having him build, he was supposed to be looking for something, and he was just sort of saying, no, I mean, it's an infinite machine. There's, I've already built the helmets for you. Those are about ready, and so I can't find this thing. It's like, it's worse than a needle in a haystack because you've got an infinite machine here. I'm not just going to stumble across it. And then he stumbles across it as he looks back directly, happens to look directly at Shah because it is a two-way conduit. And then he's sort of standing there mid-sentence, stops and says, "Oh shit!" And that is where we ended the last session. Well, also, Shantanu had a lovely conversation with a void demon and made a little bit of a deal with it. And the two of them left the platform happily, going and looking for the collapsing conundrum. I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen. Nothing bad whatsoever. Good choices all around. So, that being the case, this is a very strange place to fade back into the gray from, or to fade back into from the gray, I should say. Just the observatory existing in the kind of space that it does, and the way that it does. It's weird and tricky a little bit. So I imagine that the two of you, I just want to ask of Aroshka and Vor here, because I am curious. Were you also cousins in the gray?
Ooh, tricky question.
I don't know.
I don't think that's ever come up in 2 years of playing, whether or not they were cousins in the gray. What did you do in the gray, Arushka?
Because I'm that kind of person. My former real life job, which was my in-laws in gray, was an animal trainer.
So I guess it's possible. I mean, Vor was a professional gambler, but there's no reason why they couldn't still have been cousins.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Yeah, let's go for it. But yes, they were still cousins in the gray.
Okay, all right, this is good. So I think the question I'm going to ask here is, there was a moment when you happened to be in contact with each other in the gray just before you come back. And you had there was would this have been in person, or would this have been like over the phone or something like that, or like over the internet, or however it is they do things in the gray?
I feel like it would probably be over the phone because, as a professional gambler, Vor probably is not in and out of Vegas a good bit.
Traveling a lot, yeah.
I
go to Monaco sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I would imagine she travels a great deal, and probably she probably has an apartment somewhere in a major city, but doesn't actually live there hardly ever.
Okay. Since again we've had a change in cast, I've gone ahead and just reset. I'm just going to start again from 0 on the Path of Suns. I'm just going to draw a card really quick to tell me a thing. The nature of this omen. Okay. All right. Sure. We'll go with that. So let's see. The card in question is card number 37, the Misremembered Dream. And let me go ahead and it's been a little while since we've had that one, so let me go ahead and pull that one up here. Assuming I can still type the word misremembered. Because sometimes, apparently I can't type the word misremembered. Let me see. Ah, that's right. I see what happened. There we go. Let's try that again. There it is. Okay, good. Misremembered dream. Dreams are strange constructs of our subconscious, made stronger still because we don't remember them clearly. Some say that in shadow, people's dreams seem strange because they're remembering the actuality, and in the actuality, people's dreams resemble the mundanity of the gray. This is at least in part true, but of course, like anything having to do with the deepest reaches of the mind, it's much more complex than that. The line between memory and dream is already tenuous, but the memory of a dream, or the dream of a memory, who can count on that? In divination, the misremembered dream isn't necessarily a bad card turn, it suggests confusion or mistakes. But they don't need to be the confusion or mistakes of the person in question. We all dream, so this card can represent the poor memory or befuddlement of anyone. It might also suggest that one should adopt a new identity or disguise something important in order to succeed. So, the weird thing that happens towards the end of this conversation that you two are having is that one of you is going to turn, and this is very much like it would happen in a dream, I think I should say, where you're having a conversation with someone. I think this is going to happen to Vor. That you're going to see this, because you've had a little more time back in the gray at this point. Not too long, but a little time. You turn from wherever it is you are. Are you in? Okay, roughly where do you think you are? Just so that I can describe this.
I mean, she's probably getting ready for a tournament.
Okay. Okay, so are you already at the venue, or are you?
Yes, she's like at the venue, but it hasn't officially started yet.
Okay.
She's probably got a cocktail in hand and loosening up.
So this is perfect because there are mirrors. So you're going to notice in the corner of the mirror what looks like it's like an autographed photo that someone has left there. And you see the autograph says, as you sort of are looking up and you're still chatting with Aroshka, the autograph says, this game isn't rigged. Perhaps that's the problem. And as you look up, you see that the image of the person who's signed this is Infilosa.
Oh, really?
So that's the first
Tell
thing.
me more.
The second thing is, as you're having this conversation and you're sort of pulling back a moment, you see over your shoulder in the mirror that on the other side of this room in which you are getting ready, you see Aroshka standing there on her side of the conversation, speaking to you. On the opposite side of your room, and you see there's someone behind her. someone wearing simple robes with a hooded robe, very simple, sort of dark gray robe, standing behind her, and you see they're raising their hand to try to reach for her shoulder, and the hand has 6 fingers.
Do I have time to go do a thing?
You have time to. You have a moment to start doing a thing.
Okay, well, if she sees Aroshka there and someone reaching for her who's wearing a great robe and has 6 fingers, she will like do her best party bump into them and spill her drink all over their front.
So you turn around to do this.
And like shove them away.
Well, so you turn around to do this, as sort of to head up, and sort of the two of you, Vor, you and Aroshka. And Aroshka, suddenly you're in some room somewhere. It's probably a bathroom, I'm guessing. Probably a restroom with a number of stalls. And you see Vor turning around to do this, and that is kind of when the mists are going to roll in. As you kind of lock eyes, and the mists are going to roll in, and when they... And as they are... And you can just get over to Aroshka as this is happening. You don't... And you're having trouble. It's like maybe this person, it's harder to point where this person is. Maybe he's inside one of the stalls. He's reaching forth with this hand. Yeah, and you can kind of see he's reaching forward with their hand toward Aroshka's shoulder. And as you're heading over there, the mists are rolling in, and you hear very faintly, "It's going to go wrong. You have to stop trying this." And you both heard that. And now you are, the mists part, and you are back in the observatory.
Boy.
Shah is, well, let's see. First of all, there are a few things about the observatory currently that I need to mention. First and foremost is there is a large, about 15 foot tall elephant person wearing simple garments, who's like just kind of like hunched down and just watching things intently. In the middle of the room, you see that Mac is kind of just sort of stepping back from the vessel that now appears to have a bunch of duct tape on it. And you see Shah leaning intently over the control panel that she has open. The klaxons have stopped. It seems like, and Aroshka, that means, okay, she shut the failsafe off. That must be what happened. As, it's like, oh yes, that's right, I'm here. Starts flooding back to the two of you. Shao, you've locked eyes with the foreman. And
okay, if this is the conduit, can I do things move through the conduit or just physics information?
Well, best guess is that if Gilda built this correctly, it's dangerous to move physical things through the conduit, but it should be possible. It's not big enough for a person,
okay.
But it should theoretically be possible to do it.
I can't just yoink the foreman through the conduit into the observatory.
No, not unless you can break him up into tiny pieces like Shantanu.
I think that would not serve my purpose very well.
You want to Wonka vision this?
I mean, if I had built a thing for Wonka vision, then we could Wonka vision. But alas, I'm looking at this list of components of mine that are in this thing, and I don't see Wonka vision on there.
Well, darn.
Okay, so you come in and you see Shaw leaning over the control panel, and she goes, "Oh fuck, I'm so sorry."
Oh no.
My favorite words to hear upon entering a room.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna try to move the thing away.
Yeah, you see the shade figure turning around. He's reacting to you saying that. And you see the foreman's like... And so you immediately zoom the...
Yeah, I mean, I basically, you can think of like spinning a wheel on a ship. I basically just like bang the spinner. I'm like, woo!
Let's move this to another random part of the machine.
Yeah.
And hope that we land somewhere safe. I'm gonna draw another card real quick.
Please let it land on Impalosa.
We haven't had this card before, I don't think, ever.
Ooh.
All right.
Wow.
Oh. All right. Let me grab it through here. Okay, let me pull it up on the other thing. Yeah.
Stop it.
Okay, all right. So the card that I have drawn is the Hidden Moon. We talk a lot about the sun, but the moon has as much influence over our lives. It just does it more subtly. Quietly. The moon is stealthy. It comes at night. It hides amid the treetops behind tall buildings. Its light is soft and dim. The moon hides so that it can peer ahead unnoticed and catch a glimpse of even those things it should not see. The ever-changing moon reflects our changing nature, our bodies and our minds. It represents intuition. The moon is present when we feel more than we think. When something just feels right or feels wrong, that might be the moon's influence. It also represents inspiration, a sudden new idea. Okay. In divination, when Hidden Moon is played, something new begins. It suggests looking forward, not backward. But what's coming ahead might be dangerous rather than beneficial, so be wary. Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, it is a gray card. So gray is up right now, and indigo is down. You go ahead and activate the gray filter. And here we go. Gray sun. So, this is a secrets card, by the way. Oh, by the way, also something that I need to specify here because realizations being what they are, one needs to remember these things. So your character's heart is what is tied to these suits, and somehow we got into an interesting habit of kind of treating it like the soul, the secret soul. But it turns out that we don't have to do that because it's in your name. It's in your line. Your character line that you say every time that we start. So Gallants currently have a +1 because this is the Secrets family. This is currently in play. So there's that. There's that. Yeah. So you're gonna get the lens moved, and it's going to you're actually going to find a position. Right. Where it is next to this sort of, on a lower catwalk. It's not, you're sort of hidden behind some machinery, and you're seeing this kind of dark entryway that you can kind of see someone sort of leaving through. And it's someone, again, dressed kind of like the people from the Church of Midnight that you saw were dressed, with sort of black and metal type stuff. Just sort of people who take the monochrome side of Versace way too far. It's this door that I want to say it's probably it's got to be octagonal. It has to be that they go through. That's there's nothing but sort of darkness beyond this strange black void that this person just sort of walks out into and vanishes. But you think you are pretty well hidden at this point.
Can you remind me, the cultist that I have in a cage on my belt right now, are they from the Church of Midnight as well?
So, funny thing about that, they had you'd thought they were from the Church of Midnight. They were with other people from the Church of Midnight, but they had, in fact, you found out through your interrogation that they were infiltrator. They had infiltrated the Church of Midnight. She had infiltrated the Church of Midnight, and actually works for the Vespertine. The society kind of bent on the destruction of everything.
Destruction of everything.
Yes, that's one of the interpretations.
Cool. Awesome. I will immediately turn around to my friends and look up and say, "Oh, you're back. Hi. You were missing, and there were some things in Aroshka, some of your memories tried to get out, and I think Mac they pretty much saved them for you, I think, but I'm not sure, because is that always glowing like that, Mac?"
No, it is not.
Okay, so that's the thing on the list of things that we probably need to take care of, and I was trying to turn everything back on, and I turned it back on, but I looked down this, and I saw the unrelenting engine, and so I looked around, and I found the foreman, and he was getting beat up pretty badly, and so I focused in, but he was talking about how he absolutely, positively couldn't find a thing, and then he looked straight at me, and I realized that this is the thing. I'm pretty sure this is the thing.
So wait, who was beating up the foreman?
Some big shadowy figure. I think a Church of Midnight thing, but I don't know, it was real spooky looking.
And they were trying to find the observatory.
I think so. They said he needed to have the he was making those helmets where you could look at things that were really far away. And, well, he said they had the helmets, but then they were saying that they needed him to find something, and then I think it was here, which would make sense because, and I just sort of gestured to the telescope.
So
I'm
just going to mention really quick, as Shah is saying this, Aroshka, how very slowly your memories of how to operate this place sort of come back as you need them. There is that memory that sort of dials in. It's like, oh crap, that's right, the conduit does lead to the unrelenting engine.
Right.
And then perhaps more, as that memory suddenly reappears in there, it's like sudden. You remember, you might then connect that back to when you were in the unrelenting engine not too long ago, and so that perhaps things there make a little more sense.
So the Church of Midnight is trying to get in here. Why?
I mean, I don't know. All I know is Well, I mean, I have this page from the foreman's journal. Is that the designs for the helmet, or is that something else?
Okay, so we're going to need to take a quick walk back through memory lane here.
I just know it's on my character sheet. This is from
Man, you
before we
asked a
took
good
break.
question.
Was this
Yeah.
a page that you got while you were inside the Enigma? Was that when you got it? Okay. And I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what he told you. He said something to you when you got this. I can't remember exactly what he was referring to. But I think it would be appropriate for whatever it is that's on this sheet. You can actually extrapolate that. You kind of realize as you're sort of looking it over that it's like it's like the helmet. There are two of them, and it does involve sort of a direct communication between the two, possibly something that's like telepathic. So, if this is what that is, and you can at the very least see sort of the things that lead toward that. And I think I'm going to say, just to cover my ass, that that's part of what's on this sheet, but there's other stuff on it as well.
Got it.
That is as of yet undefined.
Okay.
Until such time as Jim has had time to go back and rewatch that part of that episode. But yeah, you definitely notice this as a definite part of this, and that it's there's definitely it's you think that maybe, and based on what you kind of remember him saying before, that maybe they've been trying to get in contact with someone, but this, you don't know if this is that or if this is. You feel also, based on what you've seen just now, maybe there's someone they want to interrogate with that thing. You're not sure if that's the person they want to get in contact with, but you're realizing that this would be ideal for that. If it is designed to these specifications.
Okay. So I basically mutter all of that, but in a series of incomplete sentences, some of which have no verbs and some of which have no, subjects. And then I look up and go, but I don't know. I mean, it could be because they're looking for somebody, or it could be because they're looking for someplace, or... And I don't know. And we could ask, and I, rattle the cage on my side, this dude, but instead he's just trying to destroy them from, some worse baddie, and I just plop down on a chair and say, I just don't understand why we never meet anybody nice.
Okay. Vor offers you her champagne glass.
Thank you.
You take a deep breaths, and then Vor turns to Aroshka. Aroshka, do you know why the Church of Midnight might be trying to get into the observatory?
Do I? This is Arras asking.
So no, you're not. You don't know why. You only know how to operate the machine and things connected to that, as far as that in and of itself goes. So you haven't gotten that from the memory you picked up. Now, do you, out of character, based on the actual history of the campaign? Let me think for a second. Why the Church of Midnight would want? What was the question again?
Why the Church of Midnight wants the observatory?
Oh yes, right.
I get the general impression this is a pretty powerful / dangerous place.
Right, but I also feel like they wouldn't be going to this level of effort and torturing the foreman. It sounds like
there wasn't a specific purpose.
Yeah.
You think about that. You remember when you were in the machine earlier underneath the circus. That the foreman said something to the effect, that it was that what they were doing was essentially some of what they were doing was basically looking for things that involved both you and Shah. And since Shah has said that a lot of this stuff around here was her design, it could be this. So that occurs to you. And then I think another half memory from the back of your head will say, we'll just basically say, it's not the Church of Midnight.
Ooh. Wow, free information from Pastor Aroshka. How exciting. You're gonna see Aroshka just sort of like get a blank look on her face for a while, little cogs turning, and then be like, I don't think it is them.
You sure?
Oh. Yes, maybe.
Do you think that the Church of Midnight people in the machine are also Vespertines? Or is it bigger?
There's something, but you don't know what it is.
I don't want to push you, Aroshka, but I just kind of gesture to this vessel and say, I feel like we're walking into a trap, and I feel like you know the trap. Or that knows the trap.
Mac is just going to slap the vessel and say, this thing has so many answers. It's so many answers.
If it's so many answers in that bad boy.
Yeah. It's so many of Aroshka's answers.
Answers and bad decisions.
I mean, to be fair, I do think that Vor gestures to Aroshka and herself, got a warning from someone or something as we were on our way back from the Gray. Something said that it's going to go wrong and you have to stop trying this. So I'm not. I am no longer as convinced that we should try to put Aroshka's memories back in Aroshka.
I mean, all we've been trying to do is just re-anchor the Endless Party. Is that what they're referring to? Is that we should stop trying to do that?
I didn't get the impression that was about the Endless Party. I got the impression it was about something else, something bigger.
Well,
what about you, Aroshka?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's I don't think anything was ever specifically about the Endless Party. I think the Endless Party is just involved because this is here.
By the way, also I should point out that at some point, a number of episodes ago, Isabel faded into the gray and has not returned.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I feel like we should
here.
Anchor the party and then maybe get out of here.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think it might have anything to do with that void demon? And can we? And Mac is going to take that point to try to. How were we able to see the void demon again?
We saw it in Aroshka's memories, right?
No. You didn't see the void demon. You saw a brief glimpse of the Edge of Paradox in Aroshka's memories. The void demon is currently where the big telescope is pointed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it has something to do with this big void demon that we see through that telescope right over there.
Oh, yeah.
And
you have to actually look into. You have to go up and look into it if you want to just actually.
Yeah.
Right now. Oh yeah. You go over and there's an empty platform there.
Oh, hey. So, who saw this void demon? Did you? What? It was. Wow. He just sits up and looks up at everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that void demon. It was locked down, right?
There's an indicator light, by the way, that I think that Shah will probably notice, and that Aroshka will notice that because it's that Aroshka will immediately know that what that means is that upon looking at it, that the detention spike has come loose.
If anyone says that that's what happened, Vor's going to immediately seize her flute back from Shah and down it all in one go.
I need to point one thing. There's one thing I just wanted to point out to Vor briefly. You do with this what you will. During the previous conversation, this is a very little thing. During the previous conversation, you probably are going to have, and this is a lot of detail that actually the two of you can fill in as far as how the whole thing was. But you kind of are remembering from when you and Aroshka were younger that there is this thing that she would do sometimes when she was withholding information because she thought maybe she thought she was protecting somebody, or maybe she was just trying to, or she was trying to protect something else, or just something she was working on. And it's not exactly the same when you asked Aroshka questions a moment ago, because she can't remember. But there are echoes of that. Probably there. I'd like to say that probably your pre-war memories of Aroshka, she's the same person. It's not like she's the polar opposite of how she used to be. She did used to be much more driven and focused. We've established that. We haven't really established much of anything else in how else she might have been different. But I imagine she was probably still the same person. Very much. But anyway, sorry, proceed.
Wait a second. Is there something loose?
Maybe?
You're muted, Mac.
Yeah, take a look through the telescope. That thing we were all worried about when we first got here, it's not there anymore.
Oh.
Vor's going to go look through the telescope.
There's an empty platform out there. Just hovering at the edge of the void. A coil of chains has fallen down, you think. It's hard to see. It's hard to see, especially because you're seeing it from very far away. Yeah, looks like, yeah, there. No demon there.
Gonna ask the obvious question here. As the person who just came back with Gray, and she looks around the room. Where's Shantano?
He shattered and disappeared into the telescope.
Mm-hmm. And now there's no more demon in the telescope.
Maybe he murdered the demon?
Maybe he murdered the demon.
I mean, we knew a murder is coming.
Maybe that was it. Like Shantano was just looking out for us, and so he took murder to the demon, so that was like, maybe he just knew that murder needed a thing, and so he gave the demon to murder so that we were all safe.
I think we might be better off taking some anti-demon measures, just in case. I really think we should do what we came here to do and maybe get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise, we might get blamed for everything.
That's the last thing we want.
Looks at Mac like, what is wrong with you?
We have enough on our plate already, dealing with everything going on in the village. We still have people mushrooms to talk to, for crying out loud.
Okay.
Well, okay, so can we get this vessel moved still? Is there any way that Shah, you could kind of weld that breach shut? Because
I can't. I don't want to. You should move your testament, though.
so obviously Mac is hesitating and reaching slowly to pull off the duct tape. He's not really sure if he wants to touch the whatever that charged testament is. but well, nobody else can take it, so I guess this one's on me.
He who duct taped it must take it back.
Yeah, it's fair. And yeah, so you got this sort of like Indiana Jones moment where he's trying to basically swap it out or pull it out and then re-duct tape it over.
I wait behind you. I take a piece of metal off my skirt, basically. I just like take some snips out and cut some metal off, and I just kind of wait, and when you move it, I slap the metal on.
Ah, excellent. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to draw a card.
Love that.
Love that for us.
Woo!
All right. I just realized I can't hum any more of that song because it's from a thing. Anyway, I will continue to play it in my head.
Don't get us taken down for copyright reasons, Jim.
I know. We can't
They
have
don't
that.
actually take you down. They just mute you so nobody can hear it.
True.
Everybody gesture wildly like they're muted.
Everybody just move your mouth, but don't actually say anything. Let's see if we can trick the people watching the stream.
Perfect. Let's see. Which card is this? This is card 25, the Enticing Jewel. This is an invisible sun card. So off with the sun. It is a visions card. So we have the opportunity. Unstable Deus is saying, so we have the opportunity to see a party of mimes being played. It's like there's only one mime, as far as I'm concerned. No, anyway. So visions family. So anyone who is an empath has
That's me.
is up right now. But anyway, the Enticing Jewel, which we've had before, but it's been a little while. The light at the end of the tunnel, the brass ring, the center of the target, the object of our desire lies before us in the form of the enticing jewel. We want it. We want to have it. It represents beauty, but the side of beauty that demands attention and probably possession. It is the beauty that can sometimes call to our darker natures. It brings out greed, ambition, and selfishness. When the enticing jewel is turned, everything focuses upon it. Most of the time, this is one of the most positive cards that can be revealed. It indicates success in one's endeavor. It suggests beauty and wealth. At the very least, even if not actual success, the enticing jewel is the potential for success, which in itself can be encouraging because sometimes there is no possibility for success. Still, the card has a darker side because it also suggests greed and a love of wealth and the dangers of such things. Okay. So, it goes perfectly as Mac removes the Testament of Suns and Shah slaps the metal in place. There is another thing that's going to happen in a moment, but that'll happen in a moment. First, let's deal with this. Shah slaps the metal in place, and it occurs to you as you're doing this, and getting your... You're going to weld it down, basically, I assume?
Yeah.
It occurs to you as you're doing it that if this thing was built the way you think it was, that if you could just study a memory for a little bit longer, you could probably figure out a way to adjust the metal to the appropriate harmonics. Maybe you have to put a few attachments on it, but the appropriate harmonics for you to be able to get a window into that memory. Because you've already put together equipment for visualizing things. It wouldn't be that difficult to make it work, in theory.
I see. Would this be I would have to actually make something, or am I just altering an object?
If it was just a question of alteration, then you could get a result. It would probably not be an ideal result. Without actually, attaching. You might be able to kit bash something with your viewfinder.
Well, okay, then my second question is if I rivet this piece of metal on there right now, can I do that later, or do I have to actually make this object right now?
Oh, you can do it later, sure.
Okay.
You can certainly do it later. The idea has struck, however, now.
Right.
And glistens at you enticingly from the inside of the vessel.
Yeah. Lovely. That makes it feel extra safe. I will start. I will hold the metal on, and I've got the rivets to start riveting it in place. And I'll stop and be like, "Wait a second!" And then I start kind of tearing through my pockets to see what I've got in my pockets with one hand on the thing. So I pull out, I'm like, well, I've got these keys, and I've got this other stuff, and I've got this mage coin, and I've got and like all of a sudden you just see Shaw start, like, I pull out a pencil and start sketching on the piece of metal how I could put the window in. So you've lost Shaw to design stuff. You can stop her if you want, though.
Mac is just watching confused, and he's holding his Testament of Sons by the thumb in between two fingers, like this, just being like, I don't know if I trust this or not.
Well, I actually have a quick question about that, Mac.
Yes.
So, quick, did you leave like a piece of duct tape on it, so you're holding it by the duct tape, or are you actually making physical contact with the Testament?
Oh,
no,
boy.
he's making physical contact with it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
As you're doing this, you're going to hear something in a moment, and you're probably going to feel something in a moment. As this is coming on, as you sort of the fingers start buzzing a little bit, with sort of the green attached to the green glow coming off, kind of this weird sort of feels a little bit. It's like there's this sort of fuzzy feeling, and I have to ask Arras a question now.
Oh boy.
So, when we first tried to figure out what was going to happen with this memory, the card we pulled was the Relentless Rumor, which upon that deals with basically there's this deep drive, this relentless drive to that causes things like these rumors to happen, or things like these memes to happen. And what I was sort of thinking is that past Eroshka had some kind of a deep drive, some memory she would focus on, think about, that helped her be driven and focused. This might be something that present Eroshka doesn't remember, due to the way things happened. And it could be a memory, it could be a piece of a memory, like a symbol or a name or something, or a sound or something. But something happened, probably close to the time of the war, that helped to kick this into high gear for past Eroshka. And I'm wondering if you had any thoughts on what that was.
I did. So I kind of think, again, I don't know how clearly Eroshka actually remembers any of this, but or if at all. But I feel like Eroshka and Isabel probably broke up like sometime before that happened. And so Eroshka was in a bad place, generally speaking, because she had done all this stuff specifically for Isabel, and they broke up. And then was like, I feel like somebody I'm not sure who, but somebody like maybe that Eroshka views is kind of like a maybe not really a rival in the sense that like maybe the other person doesn't view it this way, but like somebody that she feels competitive about made some kind of comment right about like Eroshka's ability to do something, or like maybe they didn't even mean it, but Eroshka interpreted it in a snide kind of like as they were being snide, and was like just overwhelmed by like already feeling kind of like a failure because failed to succeed with whatever she was trying to do with Isabel. And then this person kind of implied that she was going to fail again, and was like, I can't fail.
Okay. So I have there's a panoply of choice here, by the way, that I need to ask about. My first question that I need to ask for clarification is oh, hey, thank you for the bits. Thank you. Much appreciated. Yay. Thank you. Scott's Case Files. Awesome. The question is, did that happen before or after the scene that we saw where Eroshka and that I think that Vor and Mac saw specifically, that Eroshka you've only seen without audio, basically, kind of, or partially without audio, bits of. No, actually, well, yeah, there was more to it than that. I'm sorry. Time telescoped on that one. So actually, this isn't even the one that you saw. But I'm going to ask you anyway. So there was a scene that where Eroshka completes the process of looking past the edge of paradox, and it's a thing that happens, when that Isabel tried to stop her, because of the dangers involved, and Eroshka was basically saying, it's like we have him bound. I'm not letting them come after you again. Did that happen before or after this memory you've just told me? Did this memory you've just told me happen before or after that that other memory?
I feel this memory happened after.
Okay. That's important to know. So this memory that you have just given me happened after the fight with Isabel and Eroshka looking finally beyond the edge of paradox, finishing that process. I just want to be sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. No, that's fine. That works perfectly. Actually, either way, it would have worked fine. But just okay. All right. Okay. So, I've got to look at something real quick. I got to look at a note that I made a little while ago about some pre-war stuff. Okay, yeah, no, there it is. It's perfect. Okay, all right. So, someone implied that you're going to fail. The other piece of information I want to try to just sort of zero in on here. Perhaps we don't identify who that was, but there are a few different people that could have been. So, it could have been a fellow at the time. For folks who don't know, Eroshka used to be a Vance. Member of the Order of the Vance. So it could have been a fellow Vance. So potentially one of the characters that we explored, or that we had earlier, that we haven't explored fully yet. It could have been Gilda, possibly. That implied that. It could have been. It could have been Abernathy, Charles Abernathy, because he also knew you before, and he and Gilda dated for a little while. If we want additional drama, it could have been Vor, possibly. But actually, with the order of things, it might not have been Vor that said it, but it is possible. Yeah. No, this it wouldn't have been Vor, actually, based on the timeline of things that I have yet to reveal. Do you have any thoughts about who it might have been that made the comment out of any of those possible choices, or perhaps someone else? We don't have to really nail it down, but
I kind of feel like it might have been Vance, but
okay, no, perfect. Jim will rather, I will say, we'll explore that a little bit later. So, Mac.
Oh boy.
These memories this memory that slipped in here is kind of splintered a little bit, but you were seeing, and so it's hazy, as this thing is now like you're kind of. For a moment, it's like so you've got your Testament of Suns, and now your fingers have it in an iron grip and you can't seem to let go because this electric feeling comes over you for a moment. And you're feeling for a moment this sense of this vengeful drive and need to succeed that you don't think is coming from you.
So my question for that is, Mac already has that kind of drive when it comes to his work as a
That's
goetic.
fair.
So is this compounding that with that? In increasing it to
Partially. Well, I mean, just for the moment, yeah. So the thing is, though, you get this distinct feeling that you can recognize because of your training. That this is similar to when a spirit is riding you. And actually, it's kind of like there's a specific spell that you have where you're a Spirit of the Orator, I think it is. It's kind of similar to that.
Okay.
Where you're getting this kind of impression. And it's like there's this terrible need to try to to try to make something work. There's something in this terrible feeling, sort of these almost half images are washing through your mind right now, of someone saying that you can't do this. You've got to stop trying this. It's not going to go well. And that there's this need to... Part of it is there's this need to try to get people and things to safety, and it's very strange because it's like at the same time it's a time when everything seems to be trying to talk to you. It's like for a brief moment, it's like you can hear all the equipment in here saying something. You can't make out what it is. And it's just a strange sense of mild familiarity. And the it is unusual, and it also you're not sure exactly what. Well, I mean, you've got an idea of where it's coming from because you know what happened to your Testament of Sons, so you're conscious of the process. But for a moment, now this is the interesting part, and I did not prepare anyone for this, unfortunately, so this may take a moment. But I need to also ask Arras, was there a particular skill that you think that Pastor Oshka had that it can be one that you still have maybe, but it's one at the very least that your past self had? That kind of would have been something that might have then immediately come into play after being told this. Some skill or ability that she would have wanted to default to help her with what she was doing. I will hint that there was probably a massive spell of some kind that was going to be involved, but you don't have to make it about that. It can be about something else.
Maybe it could be like, it's been, I looked up how advanced magic worked because I was like, well, Oroshka used to be advanced, and then I forgot it because that was like years ago now.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But I feel like there was something about like, basically advances have like a limited amount of space in their head and they can Tetris spells in there. I feel like maybe Oroshka had some way to like fit a spell that was a little too big or like really good at Tetris.
This is fascinating for reasons that are very specific to Mac right now.
Oh, good.
Also. So, yeah. So you get this sudden sense of that your testament, as this is sort of washing over you, this feeling for a moment, that your testament, at least for a little while, will be able to help you if you need to do something really weird and complex and stupid with the tower.
Oh, sweet. So it's like a tower mod. A Jenga tower mod?
Well, right now it is. I will specify more when there is time to learn more. So that's what happens there.
Okay. So were all these feelings just overwhelming, and would it like wash over him in a physical sense as well?
Yes. For a moment at least, you can get back under control. You get it back under control, but it's like it's like this whole thing happens for just a moment.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll add something to this. As it's overwhelming, his first instinct is to basically, well, like when you get a migraine, sometimes your hands just move over your eyes to try to block out any light and, quell that pain. So he does that, but since one of his hands has the Testament of Sons, the palm part of the Testament of Sons covered his left eye. And when he pulls out both of his hands, like, his facial features changed. Like, you know how Kano has that weird, from Mortal Kombat, has, like, that metal plate part?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that part of his face is now all glass. Like, instead of skin there, it's just curved glass. Like, it's transparent as well. But it still moves and acts like, normal. But, yeah. But now that whole section is just blank, empty glass. And you, like, see a little sort of swirling void in there.
I'm going to now add something else because I can't stop myself.
Okay.
This is going to be a thing you're probably not going to necessarily notice immediately, or you might in a moment. But if you look at Eroshka with just that eye, it's like you can kind of see and remember the previous Eroshka.
With the power suit.
Yeah. You're seeing Power Suit Eroshka through the void eye.
Oh. Like superimposed on Eroshka?
Well, it's like, when you look at things with the eyes of memory, it could be that way. Or it's more just like it's like so if you got both eyes on her, you see her as she is now, probably for the most part. If you have just your normal eye on her and see her as she is now, if you have just the void eye on, then it's kind of like you're seeing the Power Suit Eroshka.
Oh. Okay, well, he's just going to shake that off. I'm like, and you'll see him looking at Eroshka doing this, like, repeatedly. And, I feel like this is the section where everybody realizes that Mac has finally lost it. But he's doing this and looking at Eroshka going, oh, well, this is a weird development.
You okay there, Mac? You okay?
I don't know. As he's poking at like the area around his eye, trying to feel it. Like, this feels really weird.
You're not hurt, right?
I don't know. Ask me again in 24 hours.
All right, I'm gonna take you at your word on that one, and I'll ask you again in 24 hours. And Vor turns back to the rest of the party and is like, "Can we please do what we came here to do, so we can get out of here?"
Shaw will look up. She's managed to get about 4 different pencils out of her tool bracelet, some of which in her hair. One is behind her ear and one is in her mouth. And she goes, "Can I get a stray thought from you?"
From me? Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
stray thought.
yeah.
Just real quick. Quick.
No problem. Okay. I think a thought. It's probably related to gambling.
Awesome.
It's probably like the precise odds of getting a particular hand in poker.
Okay. How am I gonna get this thought from you? I thought you were a mover of thought.
I can give it to you. Yeah, I can give it. Do you need it like?
I need it right now. And she's got like a hole cut in the brass at this point. You're muted.
Oops. Yeah, I can definitely do something about that. Let's see. What do I got here? I've got things for this. I'm gonna use a little bit of magic. And I'm gonna pick hardness from diamond. And I think purpose from challenge, with the intent to like actually like pull the memory out of, or the thought out of my head to be able to like physically hand it to Sha.
Okay. I will grab the thought from you and slam it into this hole that I've kind of cut on the side. And what I've done is I've taken the silver keys that we collected that were not wicked keys, and I've made them all kind of welded and bolted and riveted together so that they're all around one heart-shaped key fob at the top, and smashed the piece of recidivist ice that I had as like a glass to see through. And I stand back and I say, okay, you should be able to see the memory now. But I made the dice rolls on this beforehand, and it does have a minor side effect. So
Great.
I don't know if you want me to pick what the minor side effect is. There is a list in the key. Some of them are very not easy, and I think the one that I like the best from the list is one of them is user recalls an unpleasant memory while using the item.
Oh yeah.
And so I love the idea that in using this item where we can look at these memories, that another memory that you don't want to think about will come up.
Yeah. This is always going to remind you of something you don't want to think about.
Right.
I love that so much.
No matter what the memory is. But you'll be able to see the memory, but it'll
But
spark
you remember
things.
something else that
As the person who just gave Sha the memory to make the thought to make this, I am absolutely going to test it. In part because I want to see what memory I wrote. I'm sort of out of character / in character, hoping that this helps Vor fill in the gaps in her memory as well.
Oh, nice.
By trying to remember something bad that happened that she doesn't remember.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, quick question. Hello.
Yeah.
Quick question. I need to ask for Sha. Is this device attached at all to the to the vessel, or is this a separate device?
It is attached to the vessel.
It is
So
attached to the vessel.
Yes.
Out of morbid curiosity, have you placed Vor's memory inside the vessel?
No.
For the story? Okay.
No. The Vor's memory is the power source that is powering the viewfinder. So Vor's memory would be in the key.
Okay. And that's the memory that, and just so I can be further clear, are you trying to zero in here on that memory, or are you zeroing in on one of the memories inside the vessel?
I'm two things. One, I do want to actually look at some of the memories inside the vessel because I think that could be helpful in some way. But because of the flaw, which forces you to remember your own poor memories, Vor's also trying to force memory recovery for herself.
This is going to be great.
She still doesn't remember what happened, especially around her rectification and what the heck is going on with Infolosa in the game. Like, she has a little bit more information now, but she still doesn't know all the circumstances.
Yep.
And clearly, whatever happened there must not be a pleasant memory. So she's trying to force a little bit of that.
Okay, well, let's take a look at another card. This is a card we've had relatively recently. Let me go ahead and pull it up in the book here. Yeah. Okay. So this is a red card and a card of notions.
That's my family. Hey.
Excellent. This is card number 51. And let me go ahead and turn the red sun on so that we have that available. And so yes, this is the Imprisoning Ice. So just as a reminder, the very environment holds you fast when you are trapped in the ice. You cannot move, and the cold threatens your life. You can't persuade the ice or trick it. You can't fight it or best it in a contest. The ice is impersonal, unrelenting, and vastly powerful, even though it's nothing more than frozen water. Unless, of course, it's more than that. Perhaps there is intelligence there. Perhaps it's not just frozen water, but a living spirit of cold, of stillness, of imprisonment. In such a case, the actions of the ice might be entirely personal. You may have brought your terrible fate down upon your own head. In divination, danger lies ahead. This card turn predicts a coming conflict with dire consequences. The person in question might be imprisoned or otherwise entrapped. Traps, of course, come in many forms. Emotional traps, psychological traps, legal traps. A relationship can be a trap. To escape, one must either act on the warning given by imprisoning ice or succeed in a bitter struggle. And the delightful thing about this card is that I now have a little more freedom to interpret it because of the way that you have told me you're doing this. So,
Can't wait to hear what happens next, Jim.
red is up, blue is down. You're going to peer in at this memory.
Uh-huh.
This is a memory of something that we have seen that is similar to what we have seen here, that comes like just the thing. This is a thing that Mac actually observed in the Enigma, but this is a little bit after that. All right. So, once again, I need to make sure that I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah. All right. So, here's this memory, and again, these memories are threaded very strangely. It's like there are alternate versions of a little bit throughout, back and forth. It's a little weird. But the main thread of this memory that you see is from the perspective of Eroshka standing in this place, or something like it, and someone is near her. You think it's Mayfer off to her left. Eroshka has cast is communicating with someone. She has a spell up to do it, but it's working through. She's using apparently she is using the observatory's looking glass, the dimensional looking glass, to sort of focus in on this individual that she is talking to. This individual that she is talking to with this not terribly great signal appears to be Mac. And you can kind of hear Eroshka saying, Look, I don't know if it's the same people, but if it is, they got Vor already. She was off to play some kind of game. I don't know what it was, but I think I can see by your expression you know what it is. But they've sent this. But I'm just telling you now, they've sent this assassin after you. There are big forces here. I can't go into detail about all of it right now. But there are big forces here. And this guy Manfred is no joke. I appreciate your trying to help find my cousin, but you have got to go to ground. and you don't really get to see Mac's response. Well, actually, Mac, do you want to tell us what the beginning of your response to that would have been at that time, if you have any thoughts about that?
No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it blank for now.
You can see Mac's about to say something, and it looks like him the way that he did before the war. So this is clearly pre-war. And as you're seeing this does spark an unpleasant memory for you. You feel completely paralyzed. You're hovering. In a place that's just outside. It's in Saturnine proper. It's a building. You're not sure if it's still standing or not. It's this big box of a building. Like someone took about 20 banks and stacked them into a cube. 20 federal banks. And it's like you were running away from the building. And you can't turn your head, or it's very difficult. And as you see very briefly, you catch a glimpse. Though, suddenly it stops and you're falling to the ground, to the hard pavement. As you are falling to the pavement, you catch the briefest glimpse of someone who looks a lot like Karen. But it's not Karen exactly. It is and it isn't. She doesn't have the haircut. She doesn't look quite the same. She looks she's dressed much fancier. Sort of a long coat. And she's just you see her disengaging a spell. You think maybe the spell that's holding you. And she has a slight smile crooking up at the corner of her mouth. She's shaking her head. And she steps back into the shadows, and as she steps back into the shadows, long-fingered hand hits your shoulder. So there you are. Time to go. I'm not entirely sure how I used to do Mr. Childs' voice, but we'll say that it's him. And then a moment of oblivion, and you're back.
Really enjoying the fact that Karen got roped into Vor's rectification.
You come out of this terrible memory, and Shaw is like in your face, like big bright eyes, and it's like, does it work? Does it work? Did it do it right? Does it work?
Yes, it works. It's just I'm digesting a little. Yes, it works. I did see. Was able to see one of Aroshka's memories. I also caught one of mine back. which is... I honestly don't know if I've really learned all that more, but anyway, I saw Aroshka talking to Mac, actually, right after apparently I disappeared. And Manfred sent assassins after you, Mac?
Actually, you think Manfred was the assassin? If that's correct.
Oh, okay. Reinterpreting. And Manfred was sent after you, Mac, by I think maybe the same people who grabbed me.
So you're saying that we have a common enemy?
Possibly. Aroshka in the memory was not positive that it was the same people. But possibly, yeah. Also, I remembered the specifics, well, the final moments of my rectifications. That's fun. Karen was there.
Oh.
Except it wasn't really Karen. Something was wrong.
Well,
anyway, yeah, the viewer works.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side, it's less work for us. I mean, at least we have one enemy instead of like 12.
That's true. We can consolidate. Consolidate bad guys.
I also probably at this moment I will just for Mac. This is kind of confirming more for you. You're starting to remember that you did. I don't know how much of this you remembered already. I don't know if you already remembered that you knew Aroshka beforehand. But if you didn't, you're remembering it now. There was something that was happening shortly before the war. You're not clear on what it was, but you and Aroshka argued about it, and it had something to do with Vor going missing.
Huh. He's going to keep that to himself for now.
And the more that it goes, the more that you think about it, I will say it, the more that it makes sense that you knew Pastor Aroshka, because you were already, doing stuff with Vor. And so it's like, this is Vor's cousin. So at some point you must have been introduced to her at some point. And that's only confirmed as you just sort of every time you look at her with just the void eye.
Yeah, he's going to stop doing that so openly. because the fascinating thing is that before the war, before all of this, Mac was not a Goetic. He was basically like Shantanu, and he had a different skill set entirely.
Yay, coming back with a new set of magic skills.
A lot of people changing their skills as part of the going to the gray around the time of the war.
Yeah. Basically, it was like Max sold out when he came back. No longer the having formed a formal order or joined a formal order.
But yeah, it works. So I don't know if anybody else wants to use it, but that's no longer leaking. So
I guess
tether.
we just need to tether the thing.
Yeah. And he'll just wrap his knuckles on it and just say, "All right, elephant guy, you can take it off. We can investigate."
Finally ready to move this thing.
Yes, sorry.
Do you people always just stand staring into space, shocked at things all the time?
Yes.
This is strange.
Not always. Sometimes we go out to brunch.
It's
Don't make
the Viesley
assumptions.
brand.
The brunch is not
Yeah.
usually shocking, but the last one was,
That's true.
unfortunately.
If we're not staring off into space, shocked at something, we're eating brunch. That's basically what you get with the Viesley, or at least with us, anyway.
Viesley. And yeah, so no, he'll go over. He'll trump over. Right. Is it safe to pick up now?
Yeah, just don't drop it.
Oh, did you want me, before we removed it from the thingy that lets us extract memories from it, did you want me to try and ask it if it has any memories of what exactly it's trying to get here via the foreman?
Of who the bad guy is?
Yeah.
Well, now you can just look.
Oh, okay.
But if you
never
want to
mind.
look now, you can look now.
You can just move it then, elephant guy, sorry.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Thank
Shaw says it's okay.
You probably want to look at it in a place that's safer than this.
Yeah. The void demon.
Yeah, there is still a void demon running around. somewhere.
Endless machine.
Yeah.
Do you still
Yeah,
have the
let's move
control
it.
panel open, by the way, or it?
Oh no.
Oh, you closed the panel. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it occurs to you, you could try to use, it occurs probably at least to Oroshka that you could try to use the, you could try to use some of the devices in here to try to find the Void Demon again if you really wanted to, but you think it's probably very tricky for some reason. You can't remember entirely why finding a Void Demon is tricky, but you seem to remember that. Almost as though you have direct experience of having done it before.
How weird.
That's true. And the elephant creature will step over there and just sort of shake his head, reach down, and pick up the vessel. You hear this sort of powering down sound as he does so, and he sort of slings it into this sort of satchel-like thing that he's wearing. Sort of then pulls it along so that it's on his back. He's like, "All right, where to?"
That would be the Jenga tower.
Okay, where's that?
How do you not know where the Jenga tower is?
I do not come into Indigo. This is a favor.
Okay. Mac will just give directions back to
Oh,
Sascha.
yeah, basically. Don't worry. Which is interesting for a couple of reasons. It's like, all right. Okay, it's going to take a little time, but I can do that. You're very far away from there right now. All right. And he will he'll start moving toward the what you remember, is the main exit. He's like, these people just sort of, let's hurry up and wait. I can't even bother to. And so there's this big sort of vault-like door. They just sort of shoves, and the thing careens open under the weight of his push. And he just ducks down and goes through and walks out.
Turn to Mac. Do you ever make deals with people that are like happy to make deals with you? Angels and elephants, everybody seems so grumpy all the time.
I'm not. I can't really recall.
Maybe you're supposed to tip them.
Well, I mean, I do exchange favors.
Right. But your favor exchange was with the hunt, like not with the big elephant.
Well, I gave him a baby Ruth earlier.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right, so like point. I don't know then.
So does anybody else want to experience more traumatic memories before we leave?
Didn't the traumatic memories just leave?
I know, but I just figured that, once we leave this place, we do not want to have any more traumatic memories surfacing, at least until after our next brunch.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
reasonable.
that's fine. Yeah.
I mean, you have
I was
one. You have one right in here.
Didn't he already experience that traumatic
Well,
memory?
yes,
I
but
don't know.
it's still in there right now.
I've still got an assortment of traumatic recovery memories I'd eventually like to recover, but it can wait until after brunch.
Okay, where do we tether this thing? Is it tethered to the mushrooms?
So we got to exchange these things, and he holds up the box that he was carrying all the what are they called? What were they called again?
The Insidious.
Oh.
The Insidious. So we got to exchange this with the Insidious, with the Insidious with the night mushrooms, and then the night mushrooms were going to seed over the cavern, in which then we could use that cavern to connect the tether.
Okay.
So we should go there first.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we can come back, I guess.
Does someone need to stay here? Or do you think it's okay? I look at Aroshka.
I can tell it to lock up again, like it was before.
Okay.
Yeah. You now know how to get in and out, and you can actually also open. You know how to operate all of the doors that lead into this place now. At
good.
this point, I will let you decide how many doors there are, and how many people know about them. But we know there are at least two, because there's the secret one that you use to get in, and then there's the main one that you use to get into it the first time. But you can have more if you want. That's entirely up to you. But yes, you can totally. Yeah, this place is now at least operational enough that it's still very tenuously hanging on to the Duchess's house. But yeah, if you anchor it to a place of power, or a power source, a place where there's a power source. So you might just need to move the current tether from the house to the mushroom cave, basically, which won't take too much doing because it's not a big hop. But yeah.
We can't move the tether before we've talked to the mushrooms? Is that the...
Well, you could, but the mushrooms might get upset.
Probably better if we go talk to the mushrooms
Okay.
before we move the tether.
Yeah, I mean, we went through the whole trouble of bringing brunch to the village and removing its insidious problem.
Yeah, we did make an agreement, and God forbid, with all the other problems we have, we end up with evil mushrooms chasing after us.
Yeah, and it's very important that we keep our promises. I agree.
Yeah, that's definitely why we should do it.
Yeah, but I will say, in theory, once you have got that tethered, you should be able to make other tethers to other locations. So you'll be able to go theoretically wherever you want. But
Well, if that elephant hadn't have been so impatient, he could have just waited for us to build the tether, and then we could have just... Well, never mind.
So, mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
And I feel with that declaration of mushrooms, as you exit the, I presume you're exiting the observatory.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do in the observatory?
No, but Mac is just going to throw in one last comment. It's like, we may make bad deals, but we honor our bad deals.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
Please use that at some point, at some future point, to convince someone to throw in with us.
And I guess my last
We
question.
may make bad deals.
My last question is: as you're leaving the observatory, are you leaving through the main exit or are you leaving through the vent?
Let's go out the main exit.
Yeah, simple and
On the way out, I'm gonna turn around and tell it. Remember how I told you before not to let anybody in slash near this place? Do that again.
Okay. You got it, boss. This is the main door, so much less terrified of you than the
The other door.
than the other door. Yeah. Yeah, it occurs to you that this is probably that being able to talk to things helped a lot with being able to operate this place eventually. Because it was a lot faster and you didn't have to cast so many spells.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably so that's a thing. So yeah, you head out and you head back to the party, and that is where we shall end this session. As you have finally escaped the observatory. Congratulations, one and all.
No, definitely no worse for the wear. Nothing bad has happened. We will not regret this choice.
Bad
Yes,
has
nothing
happened.
bad whatsoever has happened.
Zero bad.
Zero bad. It's our new motto for this game. Zero bad.
Excellent. So, let us go ahead and go around, and we're going to do our Joy and Despair. Yes, that's right. We're going to do Joy and Despair. And we will be able to figure out what it is that we have set up there. So, heading around. Shah, this is for Djinnaya. Do you think that you got joy or despair today?
I buy the book, 100% get joy from making a thing.
There you go. And it worked.
And it worked. Yeah, I don't get joy if I make something and it doesn't work.
That's fair. So yes, you got joy. And we will now hop over to Arras. Do we think Eroshka got joy or despair today?
I feel like kind of neither, because there was a lot of things that happened that involved me, but I wasn't necessarily aware that they were happening.
This is true. So
I
much.
just kind of showed up and was like, I'm back. Oh gosh. Okay, we're leaving now.
Oh god. That's fair. There's so much, and yet swirling all around what you were doing, but not quite exactly directly. You have managed to successfully avoid remembering too many more things, which is
Unfortunately, I have promised to remember more things.
That is true. So we'll have to see how this goes. So now over to Anino. Do we think that Mac got joy or despair today?
Oh, despair. I mean, he was. I don't think there's any question there. He potentially ruined his Testament of Sons, and now bears a permanent scar.
That is true.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it'll be great. It's giving you a window into things.
Because now whenever he lets the spirit take over his body, you'll see when he's possessed.
Yes.
Ooh.
Brings delightful insight. Awesome. And now for Vor. Do we think Vor got a joy or a despair today?
I feel like it has to be a despair, considering that she remembered the moment of rectification.
Yes.
Also, the fact that Karen was involved should inspire despair in even the stoutest heart. So
This is true.
Well,
this is true.
The next homeowners association meeting is going to be very interesting.
It is, isn't it? This is going to be great. Okay. Something I just want to mention is that we do need to soon. We don't have to do it right this moment, necessarily. We should talk about your character arcs and see kind of where we are with everything. So that we can determine, acumen. I am, however, going to award everyone an acumen for finally making it out of the observatory. And and figuring out what to do with it. So, now is the time when we do our outros. We're going to go ahead and go around and let folks say where you can find them and any final thoughts about this session or favorite moments or what have you. And we shall start, once again, going in reverse order. We shall start with Danielle.
Hey everybody, I'm Danielle. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at RyRackandTor, where I tweet about nerd stuff, games, movies, books, games, other games. And you can also catch me on Sundays, so tomorrow, at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time, where on twitch.tv/Scott's Case Files, where we are playing the Dune 2D20 system from Modiphius. This is our second season, so we are actually on Arrakis now, and we are currently embroiled in a plot to ingratiate ourselves with the Fenrings, and we are deep in cover identities that can only go well. And my character is Reverend Mother now, so if you're into Dune, you should come and check it out. And then thoughts on this game. I do like that we're finally kind of figuring out that everything is connected at the back end. Like, all of our problems appear to have a common source somewhere. We just have to figure out what that source is. But we're getting there.
This is true. This is true. All right, excellent. And now let us head over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. You'll find me tomorrow over on the Weave the Tale channel at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for Pope World Build's Mutants and Masterminds game, where yet another one of my characters will suffer the consequences of other people's actions. Also his own, but mostly other people. And then over on Monday, feel free to join me and Simon on the Wandering Society channel. That's Wandering SOC on Twitch and 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and Simon is going to talk about the rebranding of the channel as well as the projects that will be upcoming and such. Some projects might include folks who are in this stream, but anyway, so basically Jim. And then over on the same channel on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our Sentinels game. And as far as this episode goes, yes, there are very, very many teasing revelations, which, never really have as much content as we want because, cliffhangers and mysteries. Kind of on brand for Jim. But hey, I feel like this was a very nice bonding experience for everyone, knowing that all of our problems are really connected.
Indeed. Excellent. I will also just mention for folks about the about that Mutants and Masterminds game that you're in. For if anyone happened to have been watching this channel for a while and watched the Don't Rest Your Head series, that there are some references you may notice certain similarities to certain things that have delighted me to no end as I sit back and watch that. So I do highly recommend folks check that out. Excellent. And now let us head over to Arras.
Hello, I am Arras. I'm Animus Panthera, and I'm a Dot Panthera practically everywhere on the internet. The only place that you can find me playing games online is right here on Saturdays playing Invisible Sun. I don't really have much news. Well, I do actually have some really exciting news, but it's not official, hasn't been officially announced yet, so you have to wait for that one. Also, if Black Lilac Productions is still taking pitches for podcasts, so if you have an idea for a podcast and you would like somebody else to handle producing it, let me know. That's it. I think that's all I got.
Awesome. Did you do final thoughts about this session, or are you good?
Oh, no, I didn't. So many things happened, and as Elephant Man said, it mostly involved us standing around staring at each other. So exciting. I'm excited for all of these many, many things to start to converge.
Me too.
Yay. Plot! We finally figured out how it works.
Yeah, to an extent it would so appear. This isn't even directed campaign stuff. This is like just, personal character plot stuff, and I am overjoyed. I am receiving joy from running this tonight. And now let us head over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and you can find me at Djinnaya everywhere. Yeah, and I have nothing to plug. But thoughts. I have so many thoughts. I'm really excited to see all of this come together. That was really fun to dig through the rules in the background and figure out that I could make the challenges harder on the Maker Matrix to make it happen faster. And then to sit around in the background and roll dice. And I also think I realized that I think Shaw's arc is almost done. That Shaw's arc was growth, and it was to figure out where she belonged other than the Maker's Matrix. And I think that watching Chantenot do potentially terrible things, because no matter what she said, she knows he's done something terrible. And like, as much as she has this sort of naive demeanor, she does realize what's going on, and she loves everyone so much anyway. And I think that she's realized that, like, this was what she was missing as all these memories come back, was this ragtag group of troublemakers. So I'm kind of excited to see what she does as her symbol of closing that arc out, and what she decides to do next.
Yay! Awesome. Yes. No, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing that too, because this has been so excellent. All right. So, who am I? I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On this channel, on Thursday nights, we have our short campaign of Sunken that is being run by Sarah. It is nautical horror. It is an anthology campaign. We're going to be doing a few different scenarios where we probably are all going to die at the end of each of them. So we're going to be running through multiple characters. We had someone die in the first episode. It was great. Very much reminiscent of Rime of the Ancient Mariner in some ways. Lots of creepy, horrific things happening, and I cannot wait to get back to it. So that's on Thursday nights. And then, of course, Saturday nights we have this. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back to this and seeing where things go. Also, I'm curious what Chantenot's been up to, so there'll be a need to figure that out sometime soon. And we'll kind of plunge into that soon, I think. But in the meantime, let's see. When we hit the end card, we're going to do a raid. Let's see. The person I was going to raid is currently doing outros, so there will not be much to stare at. So let us instead roll. Raid. Level Up. Level Up is doing a campaign. There are people there in various makeups that might be cool. That we might attempt to do. So we'll go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.